Hey team, well today the adventure's a little bit different. We're out here to take you for a full walkthrough of the Wasted Seamen, our Stabicraft 2250 Ultra Centre Cab. We've had the boat now for 15 months. I've done 550 hours plus on it now, so we'll try to give you a full honest review as well on what we love about the boat, what we would change if there is anything, and what would we like to add now for a certain type of fishing as well. So we might as well hammer down and show you guys what this beast can do. Well team, so the Stabicraft 2250 Ultra Centre Cab is a fishing weapon. This boat you can fish right from the rear, right through the whole boat, up to the bow. With the walk around, it gives you the ability to fish 360 on board this boat. But today, we're gonna start and talk about the back of the boat, and then we'll work through and show you everything about this boat and also the game fishing setup we've got on board as well. So first of all, the heart of the boat, I guess you call it. The engine, this beast, this Mercury 250 Verado V8, this thing is a weapon. One, it's quiet, and it's definitely quieter than any other outboard I've ever had. Two, with that V8, it's got that torque, it's got that grunt that when you put the hammer down, you know it's down. It takes off, it is a beast. But not just that, it's actually pretty damn economical. We're cruising usually around 50k an hour, 4 people on board, full of gear, burning 38 to 42 litres an hour, give or take sea conditions and current. As we're towing lures, we're usually doing, I don't know, give or take, we're about 11 litres to 14 litres an hour, which is pretty damn good. So it gives us like a massive range, which is exactly what you need when we've only got a 300 litre tank in the floor, which ideally I'd love to have more. So yes, the Mercury, so far, we've done 550, just over 550 hours, and I absolutely love it. It has not put a foot wrong yet. We haven't had an issue with it, and I'm sold. I was a little skeptical at the start going to Mercury, but so far, I love it. So down the back here on the transom, on the Game Chaser transom they call it in the Stabicrafts, is we've got the extended cage. So we did these custom cages. So what we've done, standardly Stabicraft take this top rail along to here. I wanted them pulled back a bit so we can fish that corner from inside the deck, but we've still got out the back plenty of space here. You can cast the lures around, you can fight fish. We've leaded Bluefin Tuna back here, Marlin back here. The height is perfect. It's right up on my thigh height. Like, I'm a little bit short, so I guess if you're a little bit taller, it's still good height. Nice and sturdy, you can really lean into a fish. We also put rod holders on each side out the back here, mainly for when you're stray lining for snapper. We've got the cage and also the drop down ladder at the back. Right, so as we come in through the transom, we've got this door back here, which if we're top water fishing and so on, we'll leave this door out the whole time. Makes the access nice and easy in and out of the transom. Definitely, the transom is one of my favourite spots to cast stick baits at Kingies. It is a wicked spot back at the boat. There is another reason for the cage though, and we'll show that later on. Right, if we come on board, we'll show you the next part of the transom. So in the middle here is Stabicraft's signature bait board. Now this setup, in my opinion, could not be any better. We've got 4 rod holders back here, which as you can see, we can fit 4 Telica 50 wides in there comfortably. We've got 2 cup holders, which obviously as you're filleting a fish, it's essential to have a beer in your hand. And then in the middle here, we've got our leader spool. So I've currently got 20 pound leader for when we're snapper fishing, soft baiting, and then 150 pound leader for our top water fishing, jigging, you name it, it's all in there. A full spool of Shimano O'Share leader can fit in there, which is awesome. The bait board, nice and big. Like, this is a good sized bait board. We can fill it, good snapper on here, kingies on here, no problem at all. We've got this nice lip that runs around, so as you're filleting, none of the junk actually spills over top. It just goes into the drain and then drains straight at the back of the boat. Here we've also got a tackle drawer. So today, well, I haven't got much in here, but we store most of our tackle in these Shimano bags. They're breathable. They've got a clear top on them which keeps most of the water out, but it does mean if any water gets in, it can get out of the bag. You can wash it down nice and easy. So I fit 4 of these in there comfortably. Today I've got 2 of these in here, and then also for when we're game fishing, our lure wrap bag, which we like to put our 5 selected lures we're going to use while we're out towing in these bags. Awesome Shimano bags these. So the tackle drawer, it can be anything. Everyone has them set up as their own way. We don't run a tackle bag on board, we just run these little tackle boxes and they all go nice and secure in this drawer. Under here is our free batteries as well. Don't need to worry about them, they're just batteries that do their job. You turn them off, you turn them on, the boat goes. I don't leave it on trickle charge or anything like that at home. We've never run out. Touch wood. We've never run out of battery out on the water, which is your worst nightmare, right? So they're all tucked in there, nice and waterproof and secure in this locked door. Then over here is our live bait tank, and on the back we've got 2 tuna tubes as well. So this is a really, really good sized live bait tank. So you can see it's nice and deep. Waterproof when the door's closed, nice and sealed, so no water splashes out. We've got a light in there, really only because it looks cool. There's no other reason for the light in there, but it's the perfect size for bleeding out your snapper, your kingies, whatever you catch, and you can bleed it out in there. The tuna tubes out the back, well, who would have thought we would have used tuna tubes in the South Island for tuna tubes? Usually you use them just for dead carwai or barracuda, but since we've now got a marlin fishery off the west coast, we are now using those tuna tubes to keep our tuna alive for live baiting. So perfect scenario now. Live bait tank, tuna tubes, bait board, it's all in one area at the back of the boat, nice and easy to keep clean and organised. On most standard Stabicraft packages, you get a deck wash, which this is a must-have on board any boat in my opinion, especially any fishing vessel. We use our deck wash all the time, obviously to keep our deck clean, because with the U-deck, it's a great product, but the downside to U-deck is if you leave the blood on it for too long and it bakes in the sunshine, it is a pain in the ass to get off. You've got to go home, get hot soapy water and scrub it. But if after every fish you catch and whenever there's blood on board, you just wash it down. That's what it's here for. It's also great for washing your bait board down, keeping your tire boat clean, and for bleeding fish out and so on. So, yep, like I said, my opinion, it's a must-have on any boat, and most Stabicraft packages have got this standard. So on our gunnels here, on both sides, we've got the U-deck on top, which we've got customised because we've wrapped it around on the inside, which is nice when you're fighting a fish, just that extra little bit of padding, but also belt buckles and so on. You're not scratching up all your paint so bad on the inside, because that is an area you get a lot of chipping and dinging. We've got on both gunnels 2 cup holders again already, so that's 6 out the back plus 2 more at the front. That's 8 cup holders on board, which is plenty to keep your beers nice and secure. So on both gunnels we've got 3 sets of 360-degree rod holders. Now these are a game changer, team. I would not have a boat without these on board. So they work just the same as any normal rod holder. Your rod clips in. The beauty about it is you can have it in this position, easily reach here to the rod, grab your leader to change your bait or bring the fish in, or when you're game fishing to let you get your lures out, so on. But when you're in fishing mode, especially bottom fishing, you just press the button, turn it around like that, done. Game fishing, you can set it to different positions, so no rod is in the way. Nice and easy. So we've got our 360-degree rod holder set at different degrees. We've got, I'm pretty sure, a 30-degree rod holder here, and a 15-degree here. That is all for game fishing. It doesn't matter if you're not game fishing, but it's essential. So your rod, your long rigger rod is in a higher position than your short rigger rod, so you don't get any tangles if you are lucky enough to get a double hook up. Then also along both gunnels, we've got 2 electric reel sockets on each side. So obviously when you're pooker fishing in that, you can just put your rods in the rod holders, plug them straight in so they run off the battery. You don't have to worry about bringing your own batteries on board. Then obviously when we're game fishing, we run our electric dredge off it as well. Right, come on board and we'll show you the star of the middle of the deck. Okay, so the centerpiece of our deck space, this is not always on board, but this chili bin, it's 130 litres by Icetech, is awesome, team. It's the perfect height. Again, another rigging station, a good sort of bar leaner, I guess you call it, area to rest your drinks. It's nice and deep, so you can sort of fill it halfway, 3/4 with ice, and then you put your drinks and so on in here. Split lid, which is also awesome, nice and easy in there, can access the whole bin. The reason we've got this bin on board though is we use it if we're going for like 2 or 3 days up at D'Urville and we just need that extra bit of storage other than our 2 90 litres up here, because by the time you fill them with ice, put fish in them, usually we dedicate 1 bin for fish and 1 bin for drinks and food. But when you're going away for a couple of days or 3 days, this bin is essential because we can have 2 fish bins and this can be our drinks and food out the back. And it doesn't take up any space. You can still obviously walk around the whole thing. You can still fish, it's not in the way at all. And that is the beauty about having it taller than longer. I love this bin. Don't use it enough though, but it does get used. And again, I don't think I'd have a boat without this bin for those longer adventures. Game fishing, this bin does not come because this area is for the beanbag. Now the beanbag is a game changer while game fishing, team. It's a nice comfy seat out the back to chill, relax, drink some tins. Also a great place to sleep. All right, let's move in to this part of the boat. We've got our 2 electric reels here. We've got the Shimano Forcemaster 9000s as our teaser reels mounted up here onto our rocket launcher. Obviously, they're only up there for game fishing. When we're bottom fishing and so on, we take them off. We don't need them up there. We've got plugs inside the roof. And then up here, we've got 11 rod holders, double stacked, which is awesome. And then we've got 2 Nava deck lights up here as well for that nighttime fishing or when we're chilled, moored up and we just want that light out the back. Obviously in the gunnels, we've got strip lighting as well. But as you come on board, we'll show you some more. All right, so we've done some custom things on board this boat, and another one we've done is we've got part of our switch panel out the back here, so you don't have to go in and out all the time to turn things on. What we put on there is items that you use a lot on the deck, like your bilge pump, your deck wash, your bait tank, your turner tubes, your deck lights, and our spreader lights up on the side for when we're fighting fish at night time. It's all items you use most of the time you're out on deck. The bilge pump, obviously we've got a switch at the front as well, but having it all back here just saves going in and out of the cabin all day, nice and easy. Up here we've got another screen set up as well. Oh, there's a nice fish going through. That would get me excited if we were game fishing. But up here, this second screen links with the front screen. It runs independently, but if you mark a fish like we've just marked here, it will then show up on the main screen at the front marked as well, so that if you are out game fishing or you're bottom fishing and you see a school and you want to mark, you can. The main idea of it though is while we are bottom fishing out the back, you can see where you need to drop your jig, your bait, so on. It's all here, accessible. It just means we don't all have to cram around the screen up the front. You can all do it from the back. Like as mentioned before, we sometimes take the 130 litre Icetech, but always on board is our 2 90 litre Icetech chili bins. This is one of my favourite spots on board the boat, like many, but we've got a nice corner cushioning seat here, which has got storage inside it. We store our rags in there, electric cables, so on. A nice cushion on the chili bin, which is a split lid, so you can just pull it out. You don't have to pull it the whole way like I just did then, but split lid. And this one usually ends up being our drinks and food bin. Just slides in here nice and easy. On the U-deck, now, the U-deck, it slides along like that easy, but actually while you're cruising along, they don't move, they stay there the whole time. But this spot's cool, you can sit here and just relax. You can look out the back at the lure spread. If you raft it up to some boats beside you, you can just chill here, have a yarn, have a few tins. While you're cruising along, it's a cool spot just to chill, have a yarn with everyone up the front. It's a nice area. Where we've got the drop-down clears on, which close this whole area in, this is all inside the clears, so it's nice and waterproof. If it is raining at night time or whatever, maybe a little table here would be quite nice for when we do just the odd single overnighter with 2 of us. But it's a cool spot. This 90 litre IC-Tech on this side, again, this is usually our fish bin, hence why it's not a split lid and why we've got the standard box set up there for the seat, which we'll get to in a minute. But this 90 litre IC-Tech, again, great bins. We get 4 or 5 days out of them with just one lot of ice in there, which is brilliant. But a great spot, again, just to sit here, chill, look out the back at your lure spread. All right, we'll get inside this piece and show you the helm setup. All right, so the helm setup. What we've got up here in the top gunnel is we've got our Fusion sound system, which is paired with our 2 speakers there, 2 out the back, and then under the passenger seat, we've got a big 10-inch sub, and up the front, a big amp. Also, with our Fusion setup, we're running the wireless Fusion remote, which you can just have in your pocket during the day. So if you're up the front, out the back, you can quickly skip the song. If the lads have put something on you don't like, you can turn it up or down, which is good when we're filming because we don't want to have the music obviously blaring while we're trying to film someone fighting a fish. So without having to run into the boat and turn it down up here, we've either got the remote or the Fusion is also paired up with our Garmin setup as well, and you can change it all on there too, along with the one out the back. It just all links together, team. It makes life nice and easy. Now this sound system, honestly team, it cranks. It goes hard. I love a good party out on the water, so you've got to have a good sound system on board. We've also got our VHF up the top, nice and easy to reach. When you're out game fishing or whatever, you can just clip it to anywhere along this gunnel, which is quite good. Up on the gunnels, we've got strip lighting for night time, plus a light up here. And along this dash here, we've got 2 cup holders, which come standard as part of Stabicraft. And then we've also got a USB charging port here, which we use to charge our GoPros and so on when they're clipped on to this nice handrail. Here we've got our digital mercury gauge setup. It's got everything you need on, like any gauges have, your speed, your fuel burn, everything you need is all on there, including if you want to make your engine sound better, the Mercury has got a sport exhaust on it as part of the V8. You can turn that on and off right here. Then here we've got our Time Zero setup mounted on a Railblazer mount. It's pretty much just like an iPad. It's a Microsoft Surface Mount Pro. It's touchscreen, nice and easy to use. But when it's a bit choppy on the water, it is hard to use a touchscreen. So we've got this Logitech mouse, which is connected via Bluetooth, and that makes life nice and easy for running at Time Zero, which we use a lot. We use it for our weather, our currents, our tides, and then obviously when we're game fishing, we're looking at everything from SSTs to chlorophyll, tide lines, currents, you name it, it's all on here, and it's got our boat position all there. So this is honestly, without Time Zero, I don't know if we would have caught Marlin, let alone that many on that single trip. Time Zero really helped us out. Then here I've got my 16-inch Garmin GPS screen set up. Now, my previous Stabicraft, I had 2 12-inch screens. I really wanted that again, but we couldn't fit that on the helm setup on the 2250. So I got talked into just going to the 16-inch. And honestly, team, I'm wrapped with my 16-inch. I'd happily do this again on the next boat. We can set it up, split screen into just radar and your mapping position. You can have your sonar split. You can do anything you like. You can fully customize it on here. When we're game fishing, we like to have it split up. So we've got our GPS position, we've got our water temperature graph, and then we've got both our sonars. Because out the back, we're running a 1 kilowatt through-hull transducer. We've then got a GT51 transom-mounted transducer, and also a third, which is a live sonar. I like the idea of the live sonar. I've put it to the test, especially with topwater kingies on the surface. It's awesome. We can see that, but really, that's all we really use it for, nothing else. We're mainly just using our 175 1 kilowatt through-hull transducer or our GT51, and we like to have them split screen and run both sonars separately while game fishing, especially on here. Then over here, we've got our wireless phone charger. So not is it just a phone holder, it is a wireless phone charger. No need for any cords. Doesn't matter what phone you've got on board. as long as it's capable to run on a wireless charger, your phone can sit in the phone holder on board and charge all day. It's perfect. But we've got charging ports all around the boat anyway. We've got 2 more sets at the back, 2 more in the gunnels, and then obviously these ones here. Then here, we've got our 4 sets of switch panels. So obviously we've got that one out the back, which does everything we need out there. But here we've obviously got our bilge pump, again as a second switch. We've got everything else you need. Underwater lights, we've got our lighting in the cabin, we've got our lighting around the walk around, our gunnel lighting, our spotlights up the front. We've then got our nav lights on here, window wipers. Everything is all on our switch panel up here that we need as well. Nice and easy, accessible and all that. So here also we've got our Mercury electric throttle. This thing's touchy, team, but I love it. It works really well, it's nice and easy, it's in a good position. It's a push start for the engine. We've also got active trim mode on these Mercuries. Now, the active trim, I was skeptical at the start, but actually when it's nice and calm, it's awesome. It trims the engine to its best economy and it does a good job. So while you cruise along, it's just obviously trimming up and down. When it's rough, it trims. You can override it, which is nice and easy as well. And then also up here as well, before we move forward, we've just got our electric anchor. We've got a Maxell drum winch up the front, which we'll show you once we get up there, but that switch is right here. It's all just nice and accessible while you're up at the helm. Plenty of space. Now, I guess we've got to talk about the obvious thing in here is the forward raking windscreen. I love it. I think it looks badass, and they say it gives you something like 30+% extra area inside the cabin. So with it leant forward, you're able to sit a bit further forward, get a bit more room in the cabin, the feel of space. At night time, there's no glare at all on the screen. You can leave these as bright as you like. We don't get condensation on it. I love it. I really do like the forward raking windscreen. We've got good size opening windows on both sides as well, and then obviously up here some handrails to need if it does get a bit rough. I really like the ride of this boat. Now, some people don't like Stabies, some people like Stabies, each to your own. I think this thing rides really good. My 2100 was good. I think this is better than my 2100. It's stable at rest. It goes into the chop really well. It goes into the side-on chop. It loves the following sea. It's awesome. It is absolutely awesome. So before we move up the front, we've got our floor storage compartment in here. Plenty of space. We store our ropes, fenders, sea anchor, all that goes in there. It's dry-ish storage, but when you do spray water, it does get in there from time to time. The biggest thing is to remember to put the bung in before you put the boat in the water because it doesn't drain out. So yeah, I've learned that one once before, team. All right, so the V-berth up the front, we've got this door, I guess you call it. So at the moment, the V-berth is a bit short to lie down in, but that's because it's folded up. So this works perfect. You can put everything up the front, bags, you name it, can all go up there, and it won't slide out, which is really, really good. But when you want to do overnighters on board, you need that space to stretch your legs, obviously. So nice and easy with a clip, it just folds down. And then we've got a full length bunk which you can fit 2 people in there comfortably, and it's comfy. Now, toileting on board this Stabicraft 2250, we've got options. Now, up here, we've got a toilet. It's got a macerating pump, so it just gets the shit out the boat straight away. But to be honest, team, this is for the ladies. This is not for us fellas. We don't want to be sitting up here with that scent going on when there's a lot better locations around the boat to sit there for 10 or so minutes while you're doing your business. It is a great spot though, and if you don't like being in the public around the other areas of the boat, which we'll show you in a minute, then yes, it is a great spot to do your business. Because if you do decide that this is where you want to spend your time doing your number 2s, you just open the hatch, get a bit of fresh air, and yeah, great spot, bit more headroom. I also like to open this hatch up on a pretty hot day. When there's not much airflow in the cabin, it's quite good to just have it up. You get that airflow as you're driving in, nice air conditioning, works well. It's nice and waterproof, these latches. It gives you that little bit of extra headroom while on the dunny. All right, so I'll show you the other locations on board where you can do your business that I believe are way better. So the stern of the boat, these cages are not only good for fighting fish or casting lures, it's a great spot for number 2. You can actually get your ass right out over the edge. You've got a handrail to hang on when things get a little bit choppy. You can put your toilet paper in here and you can do your business. Great spot while moving along. Out the back, it's gone. Don't have to worry about it. The walk around, not only good is it for fishing and getting up to the bow, great spot for number 2s. This rail, nice and solid and thick. You can really get on and get your ass right out over the edge. You've got a handrail on the roof here to hang on, but probably not the best spot if you're moving along because it's going to get up there and affect someone who's out the back. But the next spot, up on the bow, is my favourite. Now, not only is it a great spot to sit here and read a magazine and just enjoy being in the peace and quiet up the bow of the boat, another great spot for toileting. Great spot to do number 2s. Again, you can really hang out, get your ass over the side. While you're sitting still like this, it is a great spot to do your number 2s. It's a long way away from anyone up at the front. But also the bow, it is a great lounging spot. Sit here, read the latest fishing magazine, read your favourite book. You can still see what's going on out the back so you don't feel like you're missing out. Great spot for a couple of tins. It's good. But this is a fishing boat, not a relaxing boat. So I use the bow all the time when I'm casting topwater lures for kingies. It's an awesome spot on this casting platform. Bow rail, pretty good height up here that it doesn't interrupt the vision inside. Yes, it could be a little bit higher, but it is really good. You're casting up the bow here, you're getting your stick bait, working it back in nicely, and then if you do get lucky and hook up, you can just drop back down the side, and then you've got the perfect fighting height rail. It's on your thighs, it's good, it's sturdy, you can really lean into fish. If you get one of those Marlin that you've got to run around the boat and chase, or tuna or whatever, you can just get around the whole boat. But I use this spot all the time when I'm targeting kingfish on stick baits. If we've got more than 3 of us on board, like there's 4 or 5 of us bottom fishing, then we can spread out around the whole boat and just fish anywhere. Also up on the bow here, we've obviously got our anchor, which goes to a drum winch, which is in here in the floor compartment. We've got a light bar mounted on the bow rail. Now the reason for it there is because it doesn't interrupt your view at night time. It's not reflecting off anything. It's right at the front, where your one on the roof will reflect off your bow rails. So that one doesn't interrupt your vision. Because we do a lot of fishing obviously up here, we got Stabicraft to customise and put in 3 rod holders to the bow. So when we know we're going up to Derville or wherever we're going and we've got our top water gear, that's where our top water rods live, up the bow. They're not out the back, they're rigged up with their stick baits, ready to go, nice and easy. So when you see a bust up or fish on the surface, you can just run up the walk around, grab your rod, get up the front, start casting straight away. I think this here should be standard on Stabicraft, to be honest. Now we have got another light bar up on the roof mounted here. This one's more when we're coming into the wharf, like we're pretty close and we just want to light everything up. We have them both going. Then obviously on top here, we've got our Garmin 18 Phantom radar. This is honestly a must have if you're doing a lot of fishing or traveling at night time or in the fog. It's not just a great thing to have on board, it's a safety feature as well, I believe. As we walk our way around here, again, this rail doesn't flare out like most boats. It's always in touch with you. You've got a handrail on the roof as well. With the forward raking windscreen, not only do we get added benefits inside the cabin, but we gain ourselves a heap more roof space. A conventional windscreen would come back to here. So you've really only got half the roof space that you normally have. So again, we can store tents up here, paddle boards, spare fuel and so on, which we store here all around the walk around. It's great having that extra roof space. We've got our AM and VHF aerials up here. I don't use the AM FM aerial, to be honest. It looks better with 2 aerials. And then, as mentioned before, we've got a light bar on each side. Now, this is here for nighttime fishing. When you are fighting those tuna at night time, we haven't got a swordfish yet, but if we get lucky on a sword at night, then these are awesome. It lights up the water all out the side here, so you can see where your leader is, where the fish is. Makes things easier, but I guess also you could say it's good for docking and stuff at night time as well. We've got lights all around the walk around too, so plenty of light at night time when you need it. All right, so our outriggers are fixed into our swingers outrigger base here, which is roof mounted obviously. These are awesome, they're spring loaded, so you just pop them out, fold your riggers into position, they pop back into place. We've got 23-foot outrigger poles now. They might sound like an overkill team, but if you want to run your lures properly and have what I believe a great game fish setup, you want to run both your long and short lures out of your riggers and also your teaser setup. So having the 23-foot riggers definitely means we can do that. We've also got a big shotgun pole in the middle there for when we're game fishing as well. Now our outriggers, our halyards are mounted through here into a cleat. So our tensioner goes through our gunnel here, and we've got a cleat inside the gunnel that we can tension it to our desired liking. Now, when the rig is into position, I've marked with a bit of black electrical tape here what tension we need to be at. This works really awesome, nice and tidy. When you do get lucky and hook up to a fish, it's nice and easy. Just take it out, run it back here, and then just quickly tie it off to the roof rail, so you've then got the walk around to use as well. All right, before we go and show you our game fish setup, now I absolutely love this boat. Honestly, like I mentioned before, it rides good. It's really stable at rest. We've had 3 or 4 people on one side fighting big 150 kilo plus tuna. No problems at all, never feels like it wants to tip over. The game chasing transom is awesome. You can reverse up into anything, well, give or take anything, but you can reverse up into chop, a decent swell, pretty hard without any water splashing over the back. The whole setup of the boat's awesome. We did a few custom things like we mentioned, but a lot of it is standard for Stabicraft. Now, things I would add to this boat if I was to do it again or would like to still add. One, really would love an autopilot, big game changer for when you're game fishing, especially if you're limited on the amount of people you can. If you've only got 2 of you on board, you can click it onto the heading you want to go, and then 2 of you can come set the gear. If you're lucky enough, hook up to a game fish, then you can just keep it at a heading. Everything stays straight, so you don't get any tangles and so on at the back. But also, as you're cruising to locations, you can set your track, and the autopilot will get you there the fastest way. Also, other stuff I'd like to add to this boat. Mercury have now come out with a joystick control as well, so that's something I'd like to look at adding, maybe mount it up here, so when you are just bottom fishing and stuff, you don't have to be either fighting fish or playing fish from outside the window or going back and forth to the cabin. You can just control your boat via joystick, which now Mercury have got. That would be something I would love to add as well. Another couple of deck lights. The 2 up there are great. I don't think you need more, but for filming, 2 more lights up there would be good, especially for night time and getting those extra photographs. We've got the clears. Now, would I like doors or no doors? Honestly, the doors to me take up space. Unless you've got a really good deck, then obviously bifold doors would work fine. But for this size boat, I think the open setup works better. And having the clears means if it is a wet day or in the winter and it's a bit cold, you just drop your clears, it's set up well. It's nice and warm in that cabin. But yes, maybe a diesel heater would be a nice add-on to this boat as well at some point. Apart from that, I don't think there's anything else that I would change if I was to redo this boat again. Things I don't like about the boat, there isn't anything. I love everything about this boat. And yes, I know I'm a Stabie ambassador and so on. You think I'm just gonna say that, but honestly, I brought Stabicraft before I was an ambassador anyway. I loved my last one, hence I was stuck and got another one. My next boat would obviously be another Stabicraft. I love this boat. It does everything we want. It's an absolute fishing beast. This isn't a boat to go and do weekenders with the family and spend 3 or 4 nights on board comfortably, because you haven't got those added creature comforts like you get with some of the bigger models or other brands where you've got the table and chairs in here, you've got the sink, the cooker and stuff. You can obviously get that in Stabicrafts, but they don't offer it in this boat because it's a fishing boat. This is not a weekender. It is more of a day boat. Yes, it's comfortable to do overnighters and stuff, and which we do, especially when we're game fishing offshore and that. We can sleep 3, 4 of us on here, piece of cake, 2 at the front, 2 on the deck. But yeah, it's the perfect boat for what we do. We can do our top water fishing, we can game fish, it's comfortable for everything. I love it. All right, how about we get out there and we will show you our game fish setup for our Stabicraft. So team, we're now going to show you a game fish setup for how we've rigged our Stabicraft to go and chase marlin and tuna. Right, so we might as well start with getting our outriggers out and into position. Right, so like I mentioned, it's simple. You literally just push and fold until you're into your rigger position. That's locked into place. It's not going anywhere. And then it's just as simple as you got the cleat underneath, and we just go all the way until my marked position, the electrical tape, so the riggers are now in their right tension. Right, I'll do the other side. Okay team, so once you've obviously got your rods out into position, you want to make sure before you connect anything to your rod, you want a safety leash. So these Shimano coil, I guess you call them, leashes, the spring, they're like a spring in a way, they go back on themselves. They're nice and clean, so it means when you've got a rod clipped on, you haven't got an endless amount of line going everywhere. It's just all you need, and you connect them anywhere around the boat. So I'll get these connected. So yeah, this is our dredge setup. We've got it set up on obviously a dredge boom. We've got the new Shimano 12,000 Beastmaster. Now this thing pulls this dredge in a piece of cake. So obviously when you let your dredge out, you don't just want to put it in free spool because it's just going to tangle itself. So you just button the drag off. Out she goes. Once you go to your desired position that you want it to be in, set the drag. So we're now at trawling speed, doing roughly 7.5 knots. Got our dredge out, so 9 times out of 10, obviously you hook up at this speed. So the first thing you want to get in is all your short stuff like your teasers and so on. This pulls this dredge in like nothing. It's full speed, in she comes. Gets the dredge up nice and high out of the water so it's not going to get tangled in anything. There's no real weight on it. Obviously with the dredge boom we've done a double purchase setup, which is highly recommended, and then we've got a clip and a rope leading up to a cleat up on the side of the boat there just to take that pressure off the boom and the rod holders. This is only a new addition to the Wasted Seamen. Now I'm not happy with my rod holder setup here as back to front, so what I want to get is another rod holder for here for the game rod. So then we're not split like this out the back the wrong way round. But this is a brilliant setup team for your dredge. All right, I'll now show you our teaser setup. So on the starboard side, we're running the Bond submission teaser with the daisy chains of squid, and then the big, on the port side, we like to run the Sugar Daddy teaser. So this runs really simple. We run this out of our outrigger. So you literally can put it up into position, and then you let it out through your electric reel, and then run it, have it running in your desired position where you want to run your teasers. Everyone's different. I like to run one of my teasers in between the second and third wave. Now, again, when you get lucky and hook up, the teasers and the dredge, if they're on a hand reel, someone's got to go wind them. But the reason for running them on electric means we can quickly just run back, flick the buttons, and they come. So it's as simple as flick the button. Bring it in the boat and it's out the way. So it just means you can have it there while you're bringing in the other rods. It works really well. So having both our drills up on the roof mounted, they're out the way, they're plugged in, they're all electric, nice and easy. The dredge on the dredge boom, and then the rest of the setup out the back. I think this runs really well. We've obviously got our shotgun with a tagline set up on it, so it's not too high to reach to clip your lure back into place. But really, that's our setup for game fishing, team. Well team, that's the walkthrough of the Wasted Seamen, our Stabicraft 2250 Ultra Center Cab. Now, I hope you enjoyed the video, but if there's anything I missed, if there's anything else you want to see or know, let me know either in the comments or flip me a message on Instagram and we'll get back to you there. All right team, I think that's enough for one day. There's some bait here, but we're in the middle of sound, so Be no marlin in here, team. But we're gonna finish packing up and head back. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers, team. Video's done now. Gotta get the outriggers in.